Hi, it's Dr. Barry in Melbourne, and I'm talking to Melissa, which is a really good friend of Bill Turner's, and she's over the far side of the city, and she's going to explain today some very interesting stuff in relation to the Ppsr. And now, Bill, if you're watching this, I actually got it right. Over to you, Melissa. Hi.
Hello there. All right, so I'll be going through the Ppsr on the Australian site. So first of all, we'll be looking at well, it's a three-stage process, and first of all, we'll be looking at how to create an individual account. After that, we'll look at creating a secured party group, and thereafter we'll create individual registration for each instrument that will create the security interest over that.
Fantastic. And as I said earlier on, we've just missed the train again, but we're not actually going to catch that one. Okay, well, let's get this show on the road, and let's hope we can help somebody.
All right, so I'll share my screen so you can see exactly what I'm doing on the Ppsr. Okay, so when we go to ppsr.gov.au, this is the page that you see.
Fantastic. I can see it clearly.
All right, because we don't have an account yet, we need to go to the Ppsr login page. Let's click on that. And over on the right-hand side, you'll see account login. If you don't have an account, question mark, create an account. We'll be pressing on that.
Fantastic. Excuse me a second.
Now, I've already prepared an email account beforehand. We'll be using the names John Henry Doe, just so that everyone's clear about what information goes where and how we get to separate that name and the parties. So the first page we come to when we create our account is create account customer. If you'll use Ppsr on a regular basis, yes, we will. Then you should become an account customer. So let's start that account creation. There are 5 steps involved. This is the first. It's just accepting the terms and conditions, and we will gladly do that. Now, account customer name. So again, we're going to use the words John Henry Doe. John Henry, the name. We'll just put the given names. We won't be using any family name or surname attached to that. Mailing address there, we've got 123 Smith Street, Melbourne. The county of Burke, you can put a state if you wish to, but I like to put the region there. Postcode zip, I've got in the brackets 3000, and the country is Australia. Okay. Beyond that, does the account customer have an ABN, ACN, ARBN, or ARSN? No, we don't, because we are the man or the woman. We are not
very good
a public entity that's being registered. Okay, so the next part, I've pre-filled there. We've got family name is not applicable because we are the man. We are not aligning with the surname trust entity at this point.
Fantastic.
Given name is John Henry, and phone number, put lots of zeros there. Depends if you want to give them your phone number or not. And email address. So I've created the account John Henry 54545 at gmail.com. Okay, so in that first step, it's just accepting those terms and conditions and then putting in all that private information. Next.
Oh.
Edit that bit out. Okay, next we come to the user details. So this is to create a key contact. This is the one that will be contacted by the Ppsr if there are any problems, or if they, just need a key contact person with whom to converse with. Does the contact need to be a user? In this case, we will make ourselves a contact and a user because we want all that communication to go to us. User reference. Well, we are the principal, and can be termed as such.
Oh, I like that's interesting. That's very good.
Yeah. Is the contact an administrator for the account? Yes, we will be. Okay, so the user reference, it's just for the PPSR, just for the registrar to have a reference, a term of reference for us. Let's go to the next page. Okay, here we set up our preferences. So this is just in terms of how we're going to use the account, maximum number of search transactions per day and number of registrations. So I don't think we'll be doing more than 20
Fair enough.
per day. I don't know that we'd have the time or inclination or the stamina to do more than that. We might just set it at 20.
Okay, I'm happy with 20.
Okay. Password expiry time. So the default is that it's 90 days. So you can't set a password for longer than that time. There will be 5 different passwords that you'll need to remember to recycle and keep using. So, just set up that system. Password expiry notification. So they will send you notification to your email address when that password is ready to expire. Doesn't mean you have to jump on and change it. You can just change it the next time that you log in.
Oh, fair enough.
Account payment type, so I probably pay as you go. Send financial statements or tax invoices. So yeah, up to you. You do it never or monthly or every transaction.
What do you think's the best one?
Oh well, I think every transaction is good because it just gives you a reminder of when something happened as well, with the dates and.
And I think it's a good idea to write the password down as well somewhere.
Oh no, this is when you register and when you make a registration for an instrument, they will send, and you pay for that. They will send you the tax invoice for that payment. So it's not, for any sort of password. This is just for financial statements. Okay, you'll have to edit that section out before. Yeah, so just pop your email address in again, and they'll send you those transactions and invoices as you go. On the next page, we get to review all the information. So just check that you're satisfied with that. You can click the edit button if you need to change anything. For those people who have already set up an account and just want to change it to sort of reflect this information, you can just log in and update your preferences there. There's no real trouble in changing anything.
And that should remove all the fear from people because the fiction name is not in there at all. So they shouldn't be worried. It's just your given names.
Yeah, and just on that, if people do have a bit of this around this, they can just create a fake account, just as what's going on here now. So you can use that to practice with and go through all the steps and stages. It's not until the very end that you need to pay for a registration. You can stop there once you're quite solid in the usability of this website.
Somebody like myself now will be thinking, how much is it? It's quite small, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's only $6 for a 7-year registration.
Well, that's unbelievable, isn't it? It's cheaper than toilet paper.
Yeah, but as I said, you don't need to pay until right at the end. We're going through 3 different areas, and once you get to the end of the 3rd area, that's when you would have to pay. So yeah.
$6, that's all right.
Yeah, it's nothing really.
Unbelievable for the government. Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, so we're happy there. We are creating a security interest registration. Got a mailing address there. Family name, not applicable. So you might want to put a full stop there. You might want to put, NA, whatever you want.
You can put in brackets anyway, and which is covers it, I
Okay.
suppose. Yeah, if you wish to. Yeah. Obviously, you don't have to, which is fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, up to you. But I think the most important thing here is not to create that joinder with the family name, surname entity, because that's already under copy hold
Yes.
by the public trust. So and we do want to show that separation between the parties. So
I love it.
All right. So create account customer. And that creates a customer number. So we've got 100797562 and the username. So they've used the first 3 letters from the surname in that, not, and 233. Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Okay, so by now, here's the email account I created just prior to being in contact with you, Barry.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. We get a notification. And look, if anyone wants to use this account to practice with, you're seeing all the passwords right here. So
Feel free.
go ahead. All right. So the account number is blah, username. So this is what we use to log in, not 233. And the password. Oh, we need to enter one. We got the link so we can open it up and set one ourselves. So remember that with this password,
Yep.
this is the one that we'll need to change at least 5 times. Well, it'll be 5 times before we can use the previous passwords again. All right, so password, let's see. Oh, hang on. Has to be a minimum of 9. I'll go password 12345. Okay. So for the viewers, the password is capital P ASSWORD, and the number's 12345. So perhaps the next time I log in, it'll be password 23451. Just to have a cycle of things that are easily remembered, or just
right. So each time you log in, you can change your password and update it. So if you're taking
every 90 days that happens.
Yeah. So that's really good. That's easy. So if you and anyways, people don't have to worry if they don't go back for 6 months. Their email will give them the password to put in again anyway. So there's no problem.
Yeah. All right. So now we've got some secret questions.
Oh, the secret
What
question. Yeah.
What's your favorite holiday destination, Barry?
Las Vegas.
Wow.
Or Ireland.
Las Vegas. Okay. We had this one. What's your favorite animal? We'll go a politician.
A politician. That's very... Oh my God! They only got 2 legs, the poor buggers. Oh my God, that's a good one, politician.
What else should we choose?
What's your favorite animal? I don't know. My God, let's see. Favorite. What's your favorite food? God, all food.
All of it.
Adam and Eve. The greatest story ever told. Who forgot whom?
Oh dear. All right, so you need to set up the 3 secret questions. The answers for those should be kept safe, and you've got your password. So that's all the security issues over and done with.
And that's quite common, isn't it? The security issues, especially Yahoo and them, they have all those questions. So people will be used to that, I think.
Oh, what have we done here?
Don't know. I'm just learning.
Lowercase letter, had that, check. Uppercase letter, check. Number, check. Special character, no, I didn't put one of those in. All right. Let's do that again.
All a learning process.
All right, password, spelled the same as before. And let's put a slash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think it's not allowed slashes, are we? Oh, okay. Well,
Password / 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try that one. Oh, there we go.
magic.
So there's our username. We can log in with the new password. So let's log in. Not 233. Password / 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And declare that you accept the terms and conditions of use. Okay, so here's our workbench. As you can see, it comes up with that family name as well there, not applicable.
Right.
So that's the first stage over. We've created an individual account and we will always log into our account through that username and that password. Okay, so the next stage would be to create a secured party group. So along that top menu, we've got Ppsr Home, Ppsr Search, Registrations, and Secured Party Group. So let's create one. So this is required to make a collateral registration on the Ppsr. It is defined by a unique number, and you can create several secured party groups and have numbers for those. Some people might have already set up a secured party group but want to change their details, or maybe they've already got registrations but they've seen that they've made some mistakes and they want to transfer it all to a new secured party group. So this is where we would create that.
When you say groups, does that mean you've picked some group in what we see here, or do you create your own group? Say you want to register, you put your car in there, just a car, something simple like that.
Yeah, we're not up to that stage yet. So that would be the third part where we create the security
Sorry.
or something. So in this stage, what we're doing is we're setting up the principal and debtor kind of relationships.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Let's create a group.
Oh, right.
So in step 1, do you want to create a new group? Yes, we will be. There is an option to use an existing secure party group to create a new template and to change it from there, but we will be creating a new one. And we start with the secured party detail. So who's a secured party?
John Doe was John Henry, was it?
John Henry, yes. Is John Henry an individual or an organisation?
He's an individual, he's a man, isn't he?
Yes. So
Thank
the
you,
given
teacher.
names.
I'll be getting an apple soon.
All right, family name, do we have one?
No.
No, we do not. It is not applicable. Is an individual. We've got the given names John Henry and the family name not applicable. Contact details the same. Actually, we don't need to put the not applicable. We can just put John Henry. Doesn't need any other thing. Contact phone number. If you don't want to put it in, you don't have to. But email address. So using that email that I've set up prior. Mailing addresses before. Yeah. Let's go to the next stage. Address for service. Okay, I've got some business rules and the address for service, but I don't think we need to worry about that too much. The main thing is for the secured party details to be used in the address for service. So note there that in the drop-down menu, we could choose our username and then we click use details and it pre-fills everything for you.
Oh, right. That's simple. Just click on that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So again, recipient name or title, John Henry, or we could put principal. email, confirm email, fax mail, not one, mailing address, blah de blah. Okay, it's a bit repetitive.
Yeah, but that's what the government do, isn't it? Regurgitation.
Another rubber stamp.
Well, at least it gives you the steps. You've gone through 1, 2, and 3. You're on 4, so you just like anything else. You just got to follow those steps.
Okay, so then we go to preferences. So yes, we want to make this account a favorite. We'll give it a name. So let's say the principal secured party. Give it whatever name you please.
ScoMo.
And set it as your default. It means that every time you create a registration, it will pre-populate this information, or it will align that registration with this secured party group.
Right. Great.
Yeah. So once you set this up, you will get a secured party group number and an access code, and that's how you access your registrations and get to amend them.
Okay, we're getting there.
Okay, so we get to review again. I'm quite happy with all of that.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Just remember that you can go in and edit. If you click that edit button, you know, it will take you back to that page, and then just click next. Go through all those steps again. Yes, I'm happy with that. Next. Preferences. Next. Yeah, so you can click on that edit button and change anything that you're not happy with.
Yes, it's a natural option, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so let's save that. And here's our confirmation. We've got a secured party group number 102-69941.
I love it.
The instructions. And we will also receive an email confirmation with that secured party group number, but more importantly, the access code.
Oh.
Let's have a look now. Here we are. So access code issued for new secured party group. They send that as a PDF. So save that somewhere safe.
Oh, right. You get an email on your email address, and it gives you everything you've just done.
Yeah, it all goes to your email account.
It's not as complicated as we think. It's just basically following those steps, and if you get one wrong, just go back and do it. It's yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to like it, but if you want to do it, it's not all that hard. It's just a little bit of perseverance. Isn't it?
Yeah. So that's the end of the second stage. So we've already set up an individual account. From that, we can go inside and create a secured party group. And this creates a place for our registrations to sit.
Okay, so what does this group on? It just gives you the setup. And what we're going to do now is to do property and stuff. Am I right in saying?
Yeah, now we can do the individual security interests.
Oh, right. So what you want to hide away.
So you may want to put your car registration onto the PPSR, or your actual vehicle. You might want to put your notice of a security agreement onto the PPSR.
Your home, your property, anything you like. So this is the next stage.
Yeah.
Oh, looking good.
Okay, so we will need to copy that access code.
Oh, so you just cut and paste the access code and for the next section, right?
Yeah, we will need to copy. Oh, well, I think at the moment, because we've got it all open, we haven't signed out of the PPSR. It'll probably go straight into it. However, if you have done all that, then you come back and you want to create a new registration, you will need to enter those details.
Okay.
You need to log into your account and then go to the registration. It will ask you for the secured party group number and the access code. It's like high security here.
Okay.
So many codes and passwords.
It's a good idea perhaps to print this page as well at this stage, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a complete novice, so I'm asking the questions which I'm sure a lot of other people will ask. So if I think of it, I'll ask it.
Yeah. Okay, so once you've created that secure party group, you can see down the bottom there, there's a tab called Start Application.
Right. Got that at the
So
very bottom
this
on
is
the
where we
right.
can
Yep.
start to create our registrations. Otherwise, if you're logging in, you know, after you've created those accounts, on the top menu there, you've got PPSR Home, PPSR Search, and then Registrations. If you click there, it says Create a Registration.
So you can jump directly to that to create a registration.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
And yes, it's also the place where you can transfer a registration if you've made it. If you want to do a new secured party group and then transfer all your current registrations across, you can transfer a registration, or you might want to amend a registration if you find that, oh, I put my surname or family name in, I want to change that, then you can go to amend the registration.
That's fantastic. It's really good. The whole thing. Anybody with the fear, there's no fear because there's no family name, and it's pretty good because your given names are your names. It is you.
Okay, so I'll click on that Start Application. Okay, so this is where the fun begins.
Oh.
That was all the boring stuff.
Oh.
Okay, so we've got templates. You would need to contact an administrator for that. All the registration kinds are security interests. All of them will be commercial. They're not transitional. That relates to when the PPSR was first set up, and they had to transfer the database from other registries. So, yeah, it's a security interest. It's commercial, and it's not transitional. Okay, there's that secured party group number that we had before. It's just checking that we've got the right one. Yes. Okay, here's where we describe the collateral. And there are 4 different types. We've got tangible property. So that's where you put a claim against your motor vehicle, for example.
That's simplistic, and that's fantastic. Yeah, I love it. Can't believe it's a government site. Well, a private corporation site, which we're participating.
Yes,
That's
true.
our family name. I love it.
All right, so our main point of interest will be in the financial property. So we've got chattel paper, currency, document of title, intermediated security, investment instrument, negotiable instruments. So things like our security agreements or hold harmless agreements, all those sort of paper documents or contracts, deeds, they'll all come under that chattel paper. Document of title, that would refer to some sort of registration instrument. For example, your driver's license or birth certificate, your printout, things like that. Whereas investment instrument would be more so for your bonds. For example, your indemnity bond. All right, so what shall we do?
Well, perhaps a car or something like that would be, or an aircraft or something small to start with, unless you got a very big car. Or a house, whichever is the simplest.
Well, let's have a quick look at it. So with a motor vehicle, is it a specific motor vehicle? Yes, it is. I don't know why they even ask that. So here you would need your VIN number or your chassis number.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really.
It's unbelievable.
Let's go back. Previous. We have to go right to the beginning again, do we? No. Oh, what's it doing?
Why are we going back?
Oh, because I don't have a VIN number to put in. I can't go any further.
Oh, okay then. Okay, well,
there's a roadblock there.
Oh, so you're going to pick something that's doesn't need a VIN number. Okay, but that's basically, so if you have a car and you want to get your VIN number, you know it's on the windscreen, on the dashboard. Looking through the car, you'll see it on the windscreen. It's somewhere. Write your VIN number, and then I suppose you just follow the prompts till you come to the end and press finish, I suppose.
Yeah. All right, so let's go on to a type of financial property. So this relates to, okay, let's go on to financial property because this relates more to the paperwork that we've been doing.
Okay.
Let's have a look at chattel paper. So we need to enter a description first up. So let's say it's a security agreement. And you would put the security agreement number there. So that would be...
oh, the one, yeah, showed up. Yeah.
We're entering in we're describing our security agreement. So security agreement and whatever, number you've given it. John Henry Doe. Birth date, let's say April Fools.
That's been cancelled now. There's no toilet paper.
All right, so we're putting in the reference number for our security agreement and also the registered post number as well, because that's what has put the instrument through the Universal Postal Union.
And that number is, we already have a copy of that number somewhere, that at 001. Where did you find that, just for reference?
Oh, this might be the first security agreement that you've made. If you've made some updates to that security agreement, that same agreement, then you would put 002. It's just like...
oh, they give you the number.
Oh, no, this is a number that you've created yourself for your document.
Right, okay, this is your first one, so it's just a logical question. Okay, so the next one obviously will be 002.
Yeah, so if you decide to, because it's a security agreement and there's lots of property within that security agreement, sometimes your property might change or you might get another asset, so you would need to amend that security agreement. So you might then change the number to 002 or 003, just every time you make an amendment and update that. Yeah. So hence the number 001 there. Because security agreements do change. Okay, so it's just some kind of description as to the type of document it is. So it's a security agreement reference number with the Australian Registered Postal Reference Number, blah.
Okay.
Okay, you can select a duration of a minimum 7 years, could be 25 years. The price goes up though. No set at end time, that's if you've got a lot of money, but
it starts off at $6, so...
Yeah, I think it's better just to choose 7 years because you might amend the registration. If you added another party to that registration, that you would need to pay again.
But it's a very small amount anyway, so it's not really...
Yeah, but if you put the no set at end time, that's when the price gets quite significant and you don't really want to have to amend something and then have to pay that again.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so 7 years, proceeds to be claimed all present and after acquired property. Well, yes, that's part of the security agreement where you do that. Giving of notice identifier. So here I would put that Australian Registered Post number to show that notice has been given between the parties.
Now, when you talk between what parties, because this question came up because somebody got scared about the PPSR. They said you have to notify a lot of people. Well, that's not really true, is it? Whom do
No, this is about the security interest. So who is the security interest between? Uh-huh.
between
And
John Doe, or sorry, John, whatever his name is on there, 1, 2, 3,
John Henry and Doe.
and Doe. Oh, right, between the surname and you.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
right,
this
I got that now.
instance, with the security agreement, it will be between those parties.
Oh, right, that makes sense.
Okay, there was no earlier registration, so I don't need a number for that.
Are you putting down a document, this Australia Post, is that a registered letter or something that you...
Well, for the security agreement to come into force and effect, it does need to go through the Universal Postal Union. So that's just giving proof that it has gone.
So we post this as well as do it on here. We have to post something to a particular address. Is that by registered
Oh,
post?
that would have been done prior. So this is just, the Ppsr registration is just to give public notice that a security agreement is already in place and has already been sent through the post, and it's been agreed between the parties.
Now I'm a bit lost there, and I'm sure a lot of people would. When you, where do you start off with this postal registration through the post, right?
Yeah.
Whom are you sending this to, and what are you sending? Because you haven't registered anything at this stage. Now that's a little bit confusing. Or am I?
Because the security interest is on a document or a piece of paper in this instance, that document would have already had to have been created. So really, the Ppsr is just a public notice board. You've already done the actions. It's just putting it into the public now. And
Or can you print this and send it to them?
On.
Could
Say that again.
Could you actually print this document and then send it through the post to them?
No.
I'm lost, and if I'm lost, I know very little about this. I'm just a messenger, by the way, guys. I'm anyway. Where do we? I mean, we're talking about something that's already been posted to whom, and to about what, and I'm lost there. So I'm sure. Can you help in that department?
Well, probably the first step.
Yes.
In sort of taking control of or giving the first step in getting separation of the parties and taking control of the surname entity in the public trust, and being able to administer that as more of an executive kind of role would be to create a security agreement between the parties. So one being John Henry, the other one being Doe, being the birth certificate.
Right, got you now.
Entity.
Yeah, I've got it now.
Yeah, and so you would make that document up, put in what there is to be agreed, and sign that, seal, and then deliver via
to whom?
Australian Post. Well, to the parties, to show that service.
So actually you're going to communicate with yourself in actual fact. You're going to send
I know.
Is that exactly what you're saying?
It's a bit schizophrenic, yeah.
Okay, well that's okay. At least you've notified the deceased estate at law that you're a living man, and this is the proof that you sent that information to them, and here's the copy of the registration. I'm very happy with that. I think everybody else, it's just like, I send out IDs to people, I put them in a registered envelope as well. So they've got proof of it being sent. Yeah, I've got that. I think
yeah, and it's just putting it through the UPU that is the main step. That notice has been given, and that it's.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got the registered envelope there with the numbers on it, so people can see it.
All right. Okay, so in describing the collateral, first of all, we have the description up to 500 characters, a duration for the registration. Let's just choose 7 years for now. Additional details. In this case, as with most cases, it's all present and after acquired property, as per the security agreement. Giving of notice identifier, so this relates to how you've notified the other party, and part of that giving of notice, it's explained in the Ppsr Act and the Ppsr regulations. You do need to serve that on the other party, so you need to send it through the Australian Registered Post and provide the number as proof of your service. And there is no earlier registration number because it's the first time that we're registering it.
Okay.
Let's go to the next page. Oh, hang on. It might have timed out. Collateral. Okay, so again, we've got 4 different types of collateral there. We'll mainly be using the financial property types. So let's start with a chattel paper. And this relates to any documents or agreements or contracts that we've made. For example, a security agreement. Okay, so we'll enter a description about that paper. So this is a security agreement, and put the reference number, so it could be SA John Henry Doe 0104 1970, for example, and the version number 001. We can also put as a description perhaps who the parties are that the security agreement is between. But I think the most important thing is to add that Australian Registered Post number.
Okay. Now, if you remember, we did post this details from the given names to the family or the deceased estate name.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about there again. It's a recap.
Actually, let's just put numbers. Okay, we're selecting it for 7 years. Additional details, I'm happy with that.
Right.
All present and after acquired property. Giving of notice identifier, we'll pop that same number in as before. So that's a mailing number, and there are no earlier registrations as it's the first time. So let's click on next. Now here's where it's quite interesting because it's different to the New Zealand PPSR. They've got here grantor. So ideally the grantor, for example, in a trust situation, a grantor is the one who creates a trust, and then once that trust is created, they step away and don't have anything more to do with that trust. But the Ppsr and their key terminology have set this up to be quite different. Let's have a look here at the key terminology. If you look at that last line there, it says the debtor, buyer or customer who offers the collateral as security is called the grantor under the Act.
Right.
They can read through that Ppsr Act or the Ppsr regulations and find out more information about that. But yeah, for our purposes in Australia, we don't have a debtor as such as they do in New Zealand. In Australia, it's called the grantor.
Okay.
Okay, so who is the grantor in our case?
Are you asking me, Teach?
Yeah.
Well, it's the name we've got down there, John Henry, is it?
No, John Henry is us. We're the secured party. So
Okay.
the grantor is the one that conveys the collateral to us.
But that's the deceased estate at law, is it?
That's correct.
I got it right. I don't get the apple, but I got it right in the end. Right.
So yes, it's a security interest on commercial property. It's not transitional. So this grantor, is that an individual or an organisation?
It's an individual, isn't it?
No, the man is the individual.
Oh, and yeah, that's right. It's a corporation.
If it's part of the public trust, it's an organisation.
The family name is a corporation.
Yeah, so the family name, the surname, it's part of the public trust. It's under administration by the public trust, so therefore it's an organisation. Does it have an ARSN? No. An ACN? No. An ARBN? No. So select the entity type. We're just going to put other. And the organisation name. So in John Henry's case, this would be DOE.
Right, gotcha.
You could put the birth certificate number. So let's just say the number was 54545/1970. Because usually with these Australian birth certificates, they have the reference number, in this case 54545, which would refer to the live birth document that the parents signed when they went into birth, deaths and marriages.
Right.
So that's a receipt number for that that document, and then the year of the birth. And let's just say John Henry Doe was born in 1970.
So for somebody who does not have a birth certificate, can they proceed past this point, or can they just put the date of birth in, or the year, the live birth event or something?
Yeah, just something that can be referenced.
Okay.
What you're doing here is you're actually trying to give as much evidence as possible about that public, that trust, that trust entity that's under administration. And in fact, Bill recommends to put in brackets afterwards, under administration. So it's very clear,
right,
who this entity is that we're referring to.
And the administrator, of course, is the principal, isn't it?
Well, it's under administration by public trust.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, we're going to try to claim all the proceeds from that.
Okay.
Okay, so in this case, it's a security agreement. It's between two parties, that being John Henry and Doe. So we're probably not going to add another grantor for the security agreement. But if it was something like a birth certificate, document of title, we might add in birth, deaths, marriages as a grantor for that, or perhaps the public trust, or well, really it's birth, deaths, marriages operating under public trust. But in this case, for a security agreement, we probably just have the one grantor because it's just between the two parties on that document. If it was, for example, Vic Roads, you might put Vic Roads as a grantor, or the Department of Transportation.
Well, that'd be in relation to a car. You'd be taking the car off Vic Roads into your given names. Would that be correct?
Oh, no, it'd be more so in relation to the driver's license.
Oh, the driving license.
Claiming that document of title.
Okay.
If it was an indemnity bond, then as a grantor, you'll put the parties that you've addressed that indemnity bond to.
Okay.
But as a basis for all of our registrations, we will have as our first grantor the surname entity, which is under administration. So I'll click next. So here we have a summary. Check that everything's okay. So this is chattel paper. We've got the secured party group with us as a secured party and an address for service. Collateral, so that's just describing the instrument that we're claiming the security interest against. and then the grantor there being the organisation surname, any sort of reference numbers that you have for that surname, be it your date of birth or maybe the birth certificate number. Probably the birth certificate number is the clearest, and the fact that it's under administration. And now we have a total fee of $6.
Wow.
And we click.
It can't be cash because apparently it spreads disease or something, then, doesn't it? How ridiculous.
All right, so there's where you enter in your card number, expiry, CSC, a receipt, email address, and then once you've entered that, click the Pay Now, and then you should receive your verification statement in your inbox after that. Now, just one thing I should mention.
Yes.
Let's go
back again.
Yeah, one thing about that grantor.
Yeah.
So I've got under administration there. Now, in some cases, that birth certificate trust will be under under the administration of the public trust and all the officers of the public trust. But yeah, Bill pointed something out to me that I found quite amazing. At present on the TV, you'll see a lot of advertisements for life insurance.
Yeah.
And they'll have all sorts of situations where, you know, parents and they've got some children and what are we going to do if we pass away? How will we know that our children will, you know, be all right? And, oh, you can take out life insurance. And what happens in those situations if you do have life insurance? They take control of the birth certificate trust. So your surname entity is not under public trust administration anymore. It's under a private trust administration. So in that case, they would be the grantor for you. But in other cases, it's pretty much public trust, or maybe if they've delegated that office to a contractor, you know, they've privatized it, then it might be under that private trust. But generally, I think most people would have things under public trust, unless they've got life insurance, or unless something's been sort of sold off.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, perhaps at the end we can show sample instruments with these kind of details filled in. Maybe we can show an example of a security interest. But in that case, maybe we'll just get a verification statement and sort of erase the names and put in these names and numbers instead.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's it. It is quite a simple yet tedious process. You would have to create separate security interests for each instrument or document of title or bond. I wouldn't advise having joined registrations.
So you want to register the cat and the dog, you do it a separate registration.
Yes. In order of appearance.
Okay. Is that all the paperwork now? We'll go back to it. That has been a very interesting hour or so. I don't know how long it took, but it seems to take forever, which is quite normal for documents you have to fill in. And in the old days we did it by hand, and now it's all on the screen, and it looks harder than it really is, but it's just basically following the steps. I'd like to thank Melissa for that great effort, and I hope that it's helped a lot of people. It certainly has given me an insight, a really good one, into the subject. And I'd like to thank you for coming on and just explain everything to us, Melissa.
Yeah, not a problem. I hope that was clear and I didn't confuse you too much.
Now, perhaps we'll get together another time, because a lot of people have asked for Bill. We might bring Bill on again and we'll put him on the hot seat.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, anyways, Dr. Barry signing off. Thanks for watching and please subscribe. Bye for now.